let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. I'm always right. I'm always right. Since the 80s and wasn't always cool, especially with the ladies. I was a damn fool. Dad was an alcoholic. Mama, she had to leave him. Grew up around the fighting, the fussing, cussing, and cheating. That's when I started breaking all of the rules, selling drugs and robbing people. I was kicked out of school. I was a bad kid, tearing shit up, sleeping on couches with 40 bottles and cigarette butts. Years go by and I got sick. Stage 4 lymphoma, how'd I get this shit? Lucky to be alive, so I changed my ways. I'm on that good life tip today. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I'm wanting you to go there with me, girl. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Baby, we can have it all. We can make love by the waterfalls. I'm living that good life after all.
What is going on, believers? I hope everybody's having a good evening. My name is Bleaves, and we are not in breakfast mode anymore. We are in bedtime with Bleaves mode. And guess what? There's been $16 billion added to the crypto market in the last 30 minutes. So if you were looking at the market today and you saw what happened, and look, we all were hoping beyond hope that Jerome Powell was not a lowbrow piece of dog shit. Like, we were all hoping that he was not one of those low rent scumbags. But guess what he is? He's exactly what we really kind of thought he was, that we hoped that he was not. So that being said, we have to make a decision on what the next logical step is, right? The entire crypto market does. Actually, the entire investment market has to do that. And what we saw was a couple of things. First of all, we saw the 75 basis points, which we expected. I mean, like, the 75 basis points, that was just magically in. That was, we knew we were getting that, right? There was a 12% chance that we would see a 50 basis point, but nobody had seen any consumer data and any consumer price indexes, which would indicate that there was a reason for any of that or a need for any of that. So it was not in the cards. Like, there was really no way that we were going to see something like that. And then moving that on, it seemed like maybe the best result, the best sort of result would be 75, with him making a statement saying, hey, we're going to be looking at 50 basis points in the future. And he did not say that. He didn't say that that's what we were going to do. What he did say we were going to do is look at it and start to gauge it going forward and see what the cumulative effect is. Now, the reason that matters, and the reason that you're seeing the crypto market pump right now is, and by the way, when I say pump, I mean from where it was just a few minutes ago. I'm not saying that we're literally in a pump mode. But the reason that you're seeing the movement is because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people who are starting to understand that, you know, what he just said was those basis point increase probably going to be 50 the next time. However, there was also the statement that he said that that he doesn't think that the inflation numbers are coming down because they've got early access to data. And remember, that means that the CPI is probably going to come in very hot. That means that we are probably going to be looking at a market that is not kind and is not as friendly as what we were hoping just a few short days ago. But let's go look at the charts. And by the way, I'm going to be working on upgrading the show over the next little while. I'm not sure what the time slot I'm not sure the time schedule is going to be. Maybe the evenings might even be a little bit pre-recorded or something like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have little transitional intros and stuff like that, so that like when we go from one topic to the other, we'll see something like this. and then I'll give you a hot take on whatever it is that I think is going on or something like that. And we're going to set up I'm going to set up a bunch of those so that we can go to when it's time for the chart. Then we're going to have something that says chart action. And when we have news, we're going to do something so that we can look at news and stuff like that. Just kind of turn it into a little bit more than what it's currently been, because I want to freshen this whole thing up. And I'll get the camera angle right. The camera angle's not right now. Like, I'm looking at you, but my TV is actually a secondary monitor, and I'm looking at it, and it's not right in front of me. So I got to get the camera angle just right. Get it like over here into this kind of area right here. And then that way, when I'm talking to you, I'm actually looking at it. So, I'll be working on that kind of shit over the next couple of days. But also, Google 7 Pro. Certainly like this phone so far. I can absolutely erase anything and anybody out of any picture. So that's been pretty cool. And I've been playing around with that like crazy. Like, you would be surprised. Look, you'd be surprised how gratifying it is taking a picture of you or somebody with alcohol in your hand or something like that and just erasing the alcohol. You know what I mean? It's hilarious. It's a lot of fun. I recommend Google Pixel 7 Pro to anybody who is looking for a new phone. Absolutely. But anyway, let's get on to the chart here. So bang. Here we look at, and this is what we see when we're checking out. I'm hitting the wrong buttons. Jesus fucking Christ. So here's what we're looking at. Now, remember, the yellow line that we were looking at when we were up here, this is my kind of goal line. This is the spot that I was checking out, and I keep hitting the wrong buttons. Oh my God, fuck my life. This was the kind of the goal line. And this is what I said. I said, once this thing happens, then we should start seeing the move to the upside. Well, we didn't get that. We got that continued move to the downside. So let's break down the data, right? And the data is not exactly bad, because we got exactly what I expected we were going to get. We got basically sideways action, right? Now, the question is, will this line support where it is right now? Based on the trend that you're looking at right now, we are probably in for a lot lower number right now on Luna Classic. And it looks like that, and it also, if you look, by the way, you can see on the right hand side over there, it says we're up 1.7% on the day. So you're experiencing a little bit of recovery. That's coming from those Asian markets right now. Tomorrow, when we get a little bit of Dow Jones action going, we'll probably see a change in the way some of this is being considered by the American markets. We might see that 500 get eaten back up, and we might get back to kind of square one, so to speak, and we might see a little bit more positive move, because to be fair, we're looking at an Ethereum number and a Bitcoin number which did not really capsize. And if you were watching, then there were a lot of people that were telling you that these numbers were in serious decline, and that we were going to hit these all-time lows again. Well, we're not even close to that. So that should mean good signs for Luna Classic going forward. But again, we have to remember what we saw over here. We saw this big move, which we saw again. Then we saw another big move. Now, that means that we should be waiting for a dip to happen. So I would expect a little bit more sell down, because you really, if you were to take this right here and kind of move it over here, you're really looking at a textbook move right now, because they've already kind of written it here. Let's do it here and here, and then let's just plug that in right here. Like, we're literally watching this thing play out, right? So the question is, how low does it go? And a lot of people were actually saying that this is the level that we're probably going to end up going to. So I'm not sure whether it does play out that way or not. We might see it do that. We might see a little bit less, but we should at least get that 18 bounce. And most people are saying between 13 and 18 is probably where that bounce is. Now, the question comes up after, if we get that, and if that's what happens, then where do we go from there? Well, if we do this a little bit longer and we take a little bit higher frame, let's account for that dip, and then let's account for this big up here, and then let's see what that shows us. If we do the dip right here, then that tells us that we're headed up to about 34. It's still 34. So not going to be as high as the last one if this plays out similar to the way it played out before. Then, we'll see. You know what? Time to change this color. Let's make that a go line. There we go. So we can expect that over the next couple of days, we'll probably have some more downward momentum, then followed by some upward momentum. Over on USTC, by the way, remember, this is like kind of the money spot right now, right? Look where we got. And remember, what we called and what we said was probably going to happen yesterday. I said, this is where we are. What we're going to see is we're going to see this thing break down to this level. And then hopefully once it hits this level, we're going to start to see it pump. And then maybe we're going to see this number up here or, right in this kind of area here, because this has been the game that we've played so far, right? And then this over here, if you look at this right here with this right here, you're really kind of seeing the same things play out, right? And I was thinking about this. So we match up. This is right here. This is right here. This is here. This is here. This, without this dump, is right here. So this would be right about this one. So that means that we've got a little bit, maybe more to go. And then shouldn't that mean that we're off to the races and that we're looking at some upside from that point, right? And if it does, then, wouldn't it be worth 40%, 50% on a big pump to see Luna class or USTC take off one more time? So we might see something like that start to happen. So don't put it past the markets to make that kind of move happen, because that's what the chart looks like. That seems to be the way this thing is, that's what it looks like. I mean, that's the way the chart was. This is the way it's done it before. This is the way it did it this time. It should do it at least one more time, right? Just we're not going to have as big a pump. So the interest is starting to wane. So there we are. Now let's go on to the big dog in the room right now, Ethereum. And guess what Ethereum did? Ethereum 100% without fail tested my goal line. And remember I told you that I don't know if my goal line right there, the green line, I don't know if that was going to be accurate or not, but it was, it was where it was. And what happened here, we got down here, tested it, and then bounced off of it, and now we're on our way back up. Now, I don't know how far up that goes. Maybe it goes back into the 1600 because, this market is not dead. We had a lot of negativity. You can see all the numbers from yesterday. You can see that the Chinese market had a little bit of a lift, but you can see the UK 100, the stock 600, everything was kind of negative. Everything was a little bit down. Maybe that was the consolidation right before what we were hoping was the liftoff. Well, we didn't get the liftoff, but now we need to parse these statements that Jerome Powell made. And what I said today was very simple. I said they were lobbing softballs to the plate for Jerome Powell. And instead of swinging at the ball, Jerome took the tip of the bat and stuck it in his mouth and started sucking on it. Like he just absolutely, I have no idea. Let me rephrase that. I understand in context, right, what he's doing and what they're doing and what they have to do. I understand that they're trying to fix what they broke by not handling it before. So I know that they have to be super aggressive about it. And that leads to where we are right now, because we didn't do enough in the beginning to stop it, because they decided that they were going to let the markets work itself out, and it didn't do that. So I think that, now, since we saw that happen, and we saw that was the case, now we know that, and they want to earn back trust and blah, 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 blah. So what they chose to do was take the part of the market that was easiest, and that was just throwing money at it and hoping for the best. And they decided to kind of crush that for right now. So The numbers that came in for the earnings, what this means really is that the numbers that came in for the earnings, all of the things that we saw that were for the good are going to go into kind of a wash. We might see a little bit of a pump, maybe, but everything kind of goes into this little washed out sort of thing. Because when we get the CPI numbers in 10 days, they are not going to be good. If they look better than the month before, that'll be nice. But they still won't look very good. They're still going to be in the 8s. It is also entirely possible that it comes in worse than it was before, because you have to remember one of the things that was happening around the country is everybody who was, and guys, listen, I know I make fun of this kind of stuff because it's ridiculous, but literally what happened was some people walked into the managers or the people at BP Oil. They walked into their refineries and they saw them working perfectly, and they took a hammer and threw it at something and broke it and said, "Oh, did I do that?" Because they needed those things to break down, because that's how you drive the price up. And then what happened? We saw more record profits. So it just did not, we didn't get what we were wanting to see. We got what they wanted, which was higher gas prices while the price of oil was diminishing and going down. Like, they got the best of both worlds in that situation. So, I don't know what the fix is for that, by the way, because the U.S. government is not equipped to handle big oil. They're obviously incapable of being responsible and answering to the citizens. So I don't know what to say. Vote everybody out of office. If you have a Republican and you're in a Republican district, vote for a Democrat. Who gives a shit? If you're in a Democratic district, vote for a Republican. Send them a message. Send everybody a message. Clean the slate. That would be the dream right there, right? Just clean the goddamn slate and tell everybody who's doing their job and not doing it properly to get out. And then let's just start voting new people in. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even matter who it is at this point. We all know that they're bought and paid for, but at least this way, there will be a message received. So, my opinion, not financial advice or political advice. So that's where we are right now on Ethereum, and it's probably going to apply to a little bit of everything as we go along. You can see the Bitcoin price. Now, remember, we're talking about Ethereum because Ethereum seems to pump just a little bit more, and there seems to be just a little bit more enthusiasm than there is in Bitcoin right now. And here I put, this is the Bitcoin price action that I was expecting. And guess what? Even though I put this crazy line out there, let me tell you what's happening, or let me show you what's happening. We got this. We didn't get the dip. It didn't get down here where I thought it might go, but it still came down and it hit the bottom. And what's it doing now? It's on its way up. Like, we're literally in line with what my projection here was. So what do you think is going to happen? Like, even though we saw this thing go on and now we're like, oh my God, this is what happened. Well, guess what? What we predicted over here is literally what's happening. And if you don't believe me, there it is right there. Like, what we said was going to happen was that we would get just a little bit of a dip, right? Well, we got right here. I was hoping for it before, but we got it right after the meeting. Dipped down, tested my goal line. By the way, remember this. My goal line held one more time. So we hit the little goal line over there, and then all of a sudden, here we go. Down here, we test. Now we're on our way up. If we keep going, we keep going, then here we are. There's probably going to be some stops along the way. We're not finished with whatever it is that we're going to do. We're not finished with whatever the play is. But even if we were to just say that this is the play, this is where we are. What does the play look like when we take into account where we are right now? Well, then the play becomes 21,865. And that's probably just based off of that little bounce right here. But that puts us in the 21,800 category. So we're not out of the woods yet, but we're also not in the dumpster fire that everybody said we were going to be in. This is not playing out the way that anybody is expecting it or anybody is anticipating it, right? So, guys, look, we're going to have, by the way, let's get rid of this because we already got the Fed meeting and they can kiss our butts now. Look at that volatility, by the way. There was so much money that went through this candle at this period of time. If for anybody who was paying attention, look at this candle like you've never seen. Like this was literally the God candle that people always talk about, and it happened for 2 hours. Look at this thing. It takes up almost the entire screen, and it goes from 20,140, 20,805. And when you go look at it over here on Ethereum, then you see it goes from 1,534 all the way up to 1,622 in 1 hour. That's how crazy all of these numbers were. We go look at the 1 minute chart, by the way. Let's kind of see how this market is reacting right now on these little slowdowns. So this is what the market looks like on the 1 minute right now. This is how it's been kind of breaking out, and you can see right here, we hit that little bottom and we got this little downward pressure, but as soon as we got down in this area, resistance built up, and now here we are. So we'll see how this goes over the next few hours, but it's looking, by the way, for anybody who's been watching my technical analysis kind of things, what you're seeing here, and what you're seeing a lot of are hammer patterns. And you can see there's a hammer right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. You're starting to see all of these little hammers start to form, which generally means that we're on our there you go. You got a big spike happening right now. But it generally means that we are probably on our way up. What is going on in the U.S. markets, despite all of the, I think that everybody's whatever Jerome Powell said with his stupid voice, all of those things that he said don't really matter because cooler heads are going to prevail. What did we see every single time Jerome Powell speaks? We see a bunch of crazy shit happen. And then what happens after the crazy shit? Well, then the grown-ups in the room kind of take over, and then we see what happens. Now, when this comes to pass, we look over here and we see what happened over here at, let's look at some 4-hour charts, and we can see over here, where were we yesterday? Yesterday we were, at around this time, we were, where are we at right now? 17. So let's get to this right here. We were up here a little bit more. So there's some interest in buying up some more instead of taking a loss. And then over here, same thing. They're interested. They're going to be in here and try to pump this price a little bit because there's going to be people who are down. But when you start to think about where we are, like we're not even triggering stop losses. Those stop losses. Think about your positions, right? So if you're in these, if you're in these positions here, like you need that big 10.5, you're setting like a 10% loss, right? Stop anyway. And you're not even reaching those right now. We're still just kind of in that tight window. Wanted to see the breakout, didn't get the breakout, but we do have what looks like a little bit of momentum. So we've got this little thing playing out over here, but it's coming off of this big green move. So this thing made a big move, came down, made a big move, came down. Now it's going sideways. That could be the start of new action, but it's also just a channel coming through off of a pump, coming down here to test the support one more time and then bouncing off of that support. Now, what we could also see is what we saw right here. We could see that it just kind of trend lines like right here. But even if it does over the next bunch of hours, that's still good for us because it's still going to be to the upside. What we don't want to see is we don't want to see this line get broken. And when you look over here on Bitcoin, you see the same thing. Like we don't want to see this line get broken. We want to see that upside momentum, and it looks like we're getting it right now. Again, I said $16 billion had entered the market at the start of this video. We're now up $2 billion more dollars. So $2 billion more dollars has entered the market in the last 26 minutes. So, I mean, we're in pretty good shape, I think. I don't like what happened, but we're not sucking. So let's get on to the news. And by the way, when we do the news going forward, that's when we have another transition of some sort. And I just don't have them. I tried to make a few of them today, but I couldn't make the ones that I like because you guys should get the best. And so now we're just hot taking that shit. But we're going on. We're talking with Fed Chair Jerome Powell states need for ongoing rate increases, but we already knew that. We already knew that we're probably dialing in 50 basis points in December. He did not make a statement on what the basis points are, and there is no basis increase in January. So no matter what happens in December, there won't be anything in January. Then there'll be an FOMC again in February. So the markets, we're going to see some shifts in that regard, and we'll kind of see how this whole thing plays out. But down here you can see blah 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 ongoing rate increases, and we do see, obviously that's if we're not cooling inflation, then we're going to see some more hikes. But what's been priced in is there's kind of a curve. And that curve was, I don't have the image of it, but I saw one today, and it was 75 for this month. It was 50 for next month. It was 50 in February, and then it was 50 in March. And then in April, I believe it was back to zero. And then going forward, it was going to be into zero until we get to September. And in September, it would drop 25 points. That's the way that it's been priced in. So we'll see whether that holds or not. Now, the only thing left, the only variable at this point is going to be time. So, we'll see how the markets sort of react to the information. Then over here, this Bitcoin price prediction as Federal Reserve interest rate decision announced. So now we're looking at, what is the market pricing in at this point? And we get, of course, the Federal Reserve hikes at 75 basis points. U.S. core inflation highest since 1982. Now look at the date on this. This is how you're manipulated. This is how the media manipulates you, right? I want you to look at this. So U.S. core inflation, the highest since 1982, key inflation measure climbs to 40-year high as Fed efforts ring futile and shoppers brace for more pain. And what is this? This is Business Insider. And who's sharing it with you? I don't know who this asshole is, but we can see him right there. But guess what happens when you click on the article? Well, when you click on the article, then you see something entirely different, because guess what? This article is from October. This article is from a month ago. So this guy is just, this is why you should never trust the media when the media starts doing shit, because they manipulate you. And this guy, I don't know who he is. Let's go find out who he is. Fucking asshole. 38,000 award-winning Twitter site, writer, pundit, marketing, real estate, history, science, and family man, former trade commissioner, total jackass, because he's out here telling you, oh, this stuff from a month ago, that's spooking 39,000 people unnecessarily on data that's a month old. So CPI numbers show the year-over-year inflation has remained persistently high, falling from a June high of 9.1 to 8.2 as of September. And that's what we want to see. Like, we really like to see a 7.9 or something like that. So Bitcoin price prediction. Here we go. The Bitcoin's reaction to the rate hike has been quite mixed, with Bitcoin surging to test a strong resistance level of 20,800 to falling out, breaking above this level. It eventually fell to trade at 20,200. Coin market cap is currently first with a 389 billion live market capitalization. So then it says, It really is not going to give you a price. Okay, so here we go. It is likely, for the time being, Bitcoin is likely to continue its downward trend until it reaches the 19,984 level. The MACD and RSI have also entered the sell zone, so investors should look for sell trades below 20,330. A bullish breakout of 20,330, on the other hand, could expose the Bitcoin price to 20,800 or 21,270. So this guy's not even telling you that we're going to have a massive dump. We're going to test 19,894, but it's also possible that we could start pumping. And as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, we are still going up, and we are still, remember, we were at 958 billion a few minutes ago in overall market value, and now we're at 959, pushing towards 960 billion. The market is starting to pump its way back up and get these prices back to where they had them before. So that being said, let's move on from this one and go to the final one. And this is the important part right here. Alters guidance. So Fed hike rates by 75 basis points and alters guidance, US dollar outlook post. And down here, we see the market reactions, everything that was going on, the volatility and everything like that. This is the part that I wanted you guys to see here. On the consumer prices front, the assessment was unchanged, with policymakers repeating that inflation remains elevated and they are highly attentive to its risks in terms of future action. The institution kept language indicating that ongoing increases in the target range will be appropriate, but added that the bank will take into account the cumulative effects of the tightening of setting policy. This is what we've wanted to see all of this time right now. The change in forward guidance suggests that the Federal Reserve may be contemplating slowing the rate of hikes to allow more time to assess how its restrictive stance is playing out in the real economy, considering its lag, and to better respond to incoming data and rapidly cooling activity. The softer tone, however, does not amount to a policy pivot, and therefore should not be interpreted as a signal of an earlier end to the normalization cycle or a low terminal rate. So this is just they're just hedging against what we're talking about right here. But what they're saying is they really need to look at this, because one of the things that matters greatly that has not been taken into account is housing data. Housing data is about 6 months outdated by the time we get it and by the time we get the information. So when we see our CPI, we're getting data from housing from 6 months ago, because that's how long it takes to put together all of the data. So that tells us that 6 months ago, things were running super hot. So we're making evaluations based on the way the market was 6 months ago. Not in everything, by the way, but just in the housing market. But the housing market is a hot button right now. But what we've experienced and what we're starting to see is a rapid and incredible decline in the housing market. And, prices have cooled off significantly. People are not able to rent their houses, or their rental properties are not nearly as happening nearly as aggressive as they were before. And that would lend itself to the prices are actually coming down far more than what we're seeing right now. Now, to be fair, that's the way it's always been gauged. So I don't think that we really need to change it for right now. That being said, it's something that should be changed and made a little bit more current, because it's not really a fair gauge overall of what is really happening in the market. It's just a projection based on what was going on 6 months ago when it comes, again, just to housing. But again, the hot numbers in the housing market make this inflation look so much higher. So one of the things is, just imagine this: when you're pricing in these numbers, and when you're when you're doing all these numbers and you're getting all this data, what you're seeing is how much people were paying for a house 6 months ago, how much people were paying for rent 6 months ago, and none of that matters. What matters is what they're paying right now, but we don't have that data. I mean, again, that's kind of messed up. So hopefully we'll get that. hopefully there's a fix for that, but I mean, I don't know what that fix is. So, but right now we'll just kind of hope for, we'll hope for the best. And we've got our lines, everything's lined up the way we need it for a nice little rally. 1537 on Ethereum, 958. We're back down about $1 billion, but you know what? It moves like that all the time. And we're at 1537, 1530, about to hit 1538 on Ethereum. Luna Classic still hasn't minted. We're looking at 4 hours, by the way. We'd like to see at least one green 4-hour candle somewhere to kind of show us like, hey, man, it's going to be okay. Like Matic over here, just getting crazy. Matic pulled over from 83. That's about a 10% lift in that short little period of time. Mina protocol seems to really want to run, by the way. That Mina protocol has been going through the roof for the last couple days. So if you're in that one, good shot to you. And Uniswap also seems to have caught a little bit of fire off of whatever this low here at 522 was, and seems to be in the little pump zone. And let's go over here to our DeFi market and look at Uniswap in total and see where we've got money going. Yen is pumping its ass off again. Guys, I hope to God you got into this yen token. I mean, I keep like, Jesus Christ, guys. I mean, come on, you got to help me out here. Fuck my life. Like I'm in on this, by the way. And to be fair, like I'm telling you this because I do have a vested interest. Full disclosure. Let's go down here and look at the holders. You see who number 8 is? That's me. So I am one of the biggest holders in this. So I'm certainly happy when I see it pump. So, I mean, I just want you guys to know that as this goes, I am one of the big holders. And I certainly want to see this thing go crazy because it's absolutely good for me to see something like that happen. But I'm talking to you about this one because I think in a couple days, this is going to hit 1 million market cap. That's the reason that I'm doing that. And by the way, don't buy on the big green candles. But, you know, look at this. This is what's happening on it in the last little, like, this is what's been happening for, what are we on now? Since 4 or 5 a.m. this morning. I mean, guys, I can't, you know, I'm not making this shit up, man. This is, this thing is pumping and continues to pump every little while. Deconnect is up 13.4% on the week. Volt is now over 8,000. And if you follow my video today, I told you 8,000 has been a resistance point. We're not over it yet. These are 1-hour candles. We don't have a 4-hour. We need to mint 2 4-hour candles over this green line, and then we will, then we'll have some confirmation, and then we'll be using it as support. But back up to a 53 million market cap, and Friday, that's when the big announcement is coming. So, be ready because it's going to get crazy. And WAGMI is about dead even. Hulk's down a little bit. Kodachi's down a little bit. Terrarium down a little bit. Lily, I mean, Lily's not down. MMAI, Swing, WAGMI, they're not, everything's kind of sideways right now, right? But I mean, shit, let's go look at Lily real quick. I mean, like, this is what I said was going to happen, by the way, again, that we were going to have a dip and we were going to go up. But I mean, if I just take this and move it over here and just say that my timing was wrong, like, we're still calling it, like, we're still, what we said was going to happen is still happening. So certainly be happy that you're seeing all of these sort of positive and good numbers right now. And hopefully, let's look for some good relief in these rallies right now. And again, we're on 4 hours, so we should kind of flip over here and get into some green candles. So we got 2 green candles minted on, we got 2 green candles minted in the last little while on Luna Classic. So, I mean, that's where we are, guys. So I am talking myself crazy here. Richard Awad, Bleeze, where do you think that Volt is headed? I did some research, and with a push from your videos, I bought some. Richard, look, the big bomb that they've been waiting for is about to be announced. I don't know what day, by the way. I'm not that much of an insider. And if I do know, I'm not allowed to say. So, I mean, you can see that we are in breakout mode, but let's temper this and let's move back here and let's do this one more time. Now, where can we go? Well, obviously 1300. We were at 1300 not too long ago. Good market conditions will make this thing start to pump. First of all, we've got big resistance here that we got to clean and we got to get over. And then we're going to have to be able to use that as resistance or as support. That gets us to 88, which then gets us to 98. And generally speaking, those like 88 is really pretty much 9. And then 98 is basically 1,000. You know, that's the numbers just don't always hit the exact spot when you're looking at them on the big one. But then you have this right here and this right here. So it was announced so far that when VoltiChange launches, it will launch with 1,000 tokens on it. Now, much of what's going to happen next is going to be about getting people involved and invested and pushing VoltiChange to the masses. And look, they're not trying to replace Uniswap, not trying to replace PancakeSwap. They're just trying to get a piece of the market. And if you get a piece of that market and you start doing a lot of trading, then Volt is going to do a lot of burning. And not only is that going to happen, but there will now be a decentralized exchange that Volt will have, and it'll be called VoltiChange, right? And what happens when you get when you run a successful decentralized exchange, then you become like Uniswap, right? And I don't know where Uniswap is on the rankings over here, but I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was like in the top 100, right? Is it in the top 100? It's got to be, right? Yeah, Uniswap. It's in the top 20. All right, so Uniswap is on, and here's the markets. Uniswap is listed with Binance, FTX, Coinbase Exchange, KuCoin, Huobi, Kraken. Look at all the listings, because that's what matters, right? At the end is having use cases and having plenty of opportunity to make purchases. And that's what you have. And that's what you see right here is you see this kind of volume, Binance, FTX, Coinbase, KuCoin, Huobi. You know, you've got all kinds of different tier one, big time tier one exchanges that are trading on Uniswap. And what about PancakeSwap, right? Because PancakeSwap's doing the same thing. So what about them? PancakeSwap is ranked number 67. And where is PancakeSwap? Binance, Huobi, KuCoin, Gate.io. So same thing, not as much volume. BitThumb, I don't know what the fuck that is. But there's all kinds of different pairings that are available for PancakeSwap simply because they support the Binance Smart Chain. So, I mean, you got to start looking at Volt and understanding that, man, this thing could get absolutely out of its mind very, very soon. Like, you might see this thing just go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, just have a little bit of perspective on, just have a little perspective on this because, it really looks like they could have a massive, massive, massive run in the next little while. And I'm there for it. I hope you guys are too, But, and matter of fact, I don't even remember how much I got. Ain't that a bitch? Like I've never even sold my, you know what? It doesn't even matter. I had like 7 billion or something like that. Like that, I think that's the number. Or is it 7 trillion? I don't know. It's 7 billion, 7 trillion, something like that. But I've earned a whole bunch of, hold on. Where the fuck do I find that? There we go. All right, so we got how much do has 8 billion. So I got 8 billion. And I've got another 1 billion on BitGet, which by the way, BitGet is not trading in America anymore. So I got to get it off there. So holy shit, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God. But no big deal. I'll get it off of there at some point, or I'll just like transfer it to a different wallet, or whatever they allow me to do. But then I'll just move that into, if I can, I'll move it back into the Ethereum chain. Just so I have 7 billion. Coffee. I was an early guy, and I put in, look, I don't even want to tell you guys because, like I literally put in like $100 and it's over $5,000, So, yeah. So, yeah. And that's where I'd be sitting, Coffee Blogger. I'd be sitting right around 8.5 billion if I moved everything over. So, yeah, but again, like I invested $100 at the beginning, and now it's over 5,000. So, or 6,000, whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, like if this thing, what if you 10x from where you are right now? I mean, you 10x from this spot right now, and you could take, you could take like 2 or 3 grand and go do something. Like buy yourself Google Pixel 7 Pro because this thing is so badass. Look, I deleted my entire family from a picture earlier, and like it's absolutely crazy. Like it is out of its mind. Like you just circle a person, like you just rub a person, and then you just take your finger off of it, and that person disappears. And then you like go to the next person, and like I had a picture of my family, and they were all hugging, and it was my brother, my mother, it was my aunt, it was my cousin, and they had like alcohol everywhere. And like I just rubbed a bottle of whiskey, and the bottle of whiskey disappeared. And then my cousin disappeared. And by the way, when I did it, it's called Magic Eraser. They were like, "Do you even belong in this?" Like they were like, "She doesn't even belong in this picture. Take her out." So I was like, "Okay, let's just take her out." So we took her out, and then I rubbed. Then I just started picking different people in the family. Let's get rid of these motherfuckers here too. And then by the time it was done, it was just a picture of an empty kitchen. I was like, now that's the kind of kitchen I want. You know what I mean? No offense, family, if you're watching, but you get it. So anyway, yeah, it was really kind of crazy. That thing is, get yourself a Google Pixel 7 Pro, and if not, go to the store, get a Google Pixel 7 Pro, and just play with it, and take a picture, and then just mess around with it, and then see what I'm talking about, because it's just absolutely nuts. Also, if you call somebody and it's an 800 number and you hit it, it gives you like a readout of what each one of the options are, so you can press the options that you want. Like it'll say press 1 for English, and then the next, it'll give you another category. You press 1 for English, and it tells you what the next category is, and it gives you all the options, and you can press all the options, and it will then sit on hold for you until somebody answers the phone, and then your phone will ring, and then you just pick it up, and you'll be like, "Hey, what's going on? You're the one that waited. I wasn't the one that waited, you bitch." You know what I mean? So it's really cool. But anyway, that's my time, guys. I'm gonna go walk this little fucking dog here. This is financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I'm always right, guys. Be very, very careful tonight. I don't know what the European market's going to do. I'm a little nervous about them, but I think that we're going to see. I think we might see. Matter of fact, before we do this, we're going to take one more look because now I have a question, and I want to see what the Dow overnight looks like. Dow overnight, to me. Wait. Shit, before we do it. Okay, you have 30 seconds. you have 30 seconds, okay? Tell me, are we plus or negative, and by how much on the Dow overnight? I'm going to say negative 180 right now. So I'm going to put it in here. We're going to be negative 180. So if you have an opinion on where it's going to be when I look at it, and don't lie, don't go looking, because if you do, you're an asshole, right? And that's how you go to prison, right? Because if you look and you're an asshole, you go to prison. So I'm going to say negative 180 right now. What's everybody else going to say? 20 seconds. Come on, Maddie B. Tell me what you think. All right, negative 156. Here we go. Come on, Maddie. Don't play. Don't play. Negative 200. If it's positive, it's going to be the dumbest fuck. Like, it's going to be unbelievable. A negative 189. Look, guys, I don't even know if it's negative, by the way. It could be positive. People could be feeling good, or it could be like negative 500. You know, it would be, we could have a disaster on our hands. Negative 125, 10 seconds. Oh, Maddie B, you're pulling it up for you, asshole. I swear to God. God damn it. All right, so here we go. Negative 110, negative 40. All right, so here we go. We're going to go look. Maddie B, you're adopted. I swear to God. All right, here we go. Plus 47. You see that shit? It is plus 47. So, guys, here's what I think is going to happen. If that's the case, then that means that the market has looked at the data that Jerome Powell said. They've taken his stupid comments as just that, the stupid rantings of a senile old man who probably only eats big, long sausages for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when he's sick, he takes them rectally. And that's what he consumes. That's all he does. So now they're looking at him, they're like, aha, 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 ha, ha, ha. And they're probably going to move. Like, so, you know, that is a very good sign. It's an early sign, by the way. Remember, these sentiments will start to change over the course of the next few hours. We went from dumping to all of a sudden feeling pretty good about it. So you might just see a little bit of a relief rally continue because this market really wants it. And they're going to look at that and they're going to say, you know what? Let's go, baby. And by the way, that would mean, because if it's Ethereum, that you're getting it at a discount right now. Actually, you're not anymore because it's at 1545. The rally is on. Now, again, this rally is not, going back over here, this rally is not like a super pump, but it is a relief rally. And we are starting to see some numbers. Oh, wait. We're going to see those numbers match my chart. I swear to God, if we start to see it match exactly what I said was going to happen, and the only difference is that yellow line is not in there, then you guys are going to have to call me like King Daddy or something for like a month. I don't know. But it looks like the rally is on. And, you know, maybe we're going to wake up to a fully relieved crypto market. It's now up to 961. Remember, when we started this show, when I started getting ready for this show, 940 billion. When we started the show, in less than an hour, we're at 961 billion. So let's just say in a little bit over an hour, we've added $21 billion to this crypto market. So if you think it doesn't want to run, you are mistaken. And you can look up there and you can see the where it says KOSPI. That's the Korean stock market. And you can see it's down 14.55, 15.04 right here. That's not that bad. That's that big candle right there. And now you see that it's kind of started a relief run right here. And it might end up in the green by the time it's done for the day. We don't know. You know, it's down 0.6% on the day. So we may or may not see that, but we haven't seen, I don't know when the Chinese market is going to open up. There should be, let's see, what's the trading look like here? All right, so the market's opened, but market closes in 5 hours and 35 minutes. We haven't seen an update off of it yet, right? Oh, no, here we go. So the Chinese market has just opened. Its reporting data is 15 minutes behind, so it's been open for like 10 minutes, I guess, for the purpose of our reporting. And it looks like it's not doing bad. So I think maybe a little bit of a relief rally is on. So good luck. All right, guys, not financial advice. My name is Bleaves. I'm always right. We will see you guys again for breakfast in the morning. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button. If you want to rewatch this, leave a comment on the way out. Talk about how pretty the light is up here, how awesome it is. to know somebody who has a Google Pixel Pro 7, Google Pixel 7 Pro. I don't know what you say. I'm not even sure how you're supposed to say it anymore. I just know that I got one, and that's pretty cool. So we'll see you guys in the morning, and you guys have a good night, and be very careful in your trading. Don't over leverage yourself. Don't over position yourself. Don't risk it all if you're not really, really sure about what's going to happen next. You guys have a good night. We'll talk.